On again.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Punt Situation. Scott, how's it going, Scott?
Doing great, Polk, man. Getting each week we're getting closer and closer to football season. Around the corner, and then pretty soon college football, and then NFL. And I'm excited, man. And it looks like by you, you're excited, man. You're wearing your Miami Dolphins sun hat over there, getting ready for your vacation.
That's it, man. We're super excited. We leave like next Wednesday. Got to drive down to Florida and see the Miami Dolphins practice. Hopefully become best friends with Jalen Waddle. They need a cornerback, so maybe I play at a corner. Who knows?
Yeah. And plus, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to news and stuff like that. And we also going to have a special announcement at the end of our podcast. Please stay along and listen to us. Please like and subscribe to our punt situation there on YouTube. Polk, what are we going to be talking about today?
All right, guys. So what we're going to be talking about is we're going to talk about some of those backups, some of those handcuffs, those running backs, kind of that everybody hadn't been talking about. They're always talking about the starter, but which guys would we want? Which guys should you? There's always injuries. There's always guys that you can grab off the waiver and maybe late in that draft, and we want to get those names in our head right now so that if happens ball going, you can hop on, or whether to spin that fab waiver, not spin that fab. Or hopefully you have waiver priority if you're still doing that. So I'm super excited. It's going to be a good conversation, guys. Stick around. It's out on YouTube. You got time? You want to put us on? You can see my awesome hat. Scott's lovely sunglasses. So, but hey, let's talk about that.
Okay, so this week a lot going on, a lot of signing and a lot of injuries. Let's start off with Joe Burrow. He got carted off the field yesterday. Doesn't look too serious by what they were saying. He should be starting on week 1. They just want him to practice a little bit more, before the season started. In the last couple of years, he hasn't been able to do that. And then he tweaked his leg cap, correct? And then
they hadn't said. They hadn't said what it was, right? They just kind of said he's going to be out multiple weeks. That could be 4 weeks, 6 weeks. We don't know. But I know I don't know if y'all got to see the video. It looked kind of bad. He kind of rolled out to the right and then just started and then laid down. They brought the card out for him. So it's always weird when they don't tell you the immediate, I guess after x-rays, they don't say, right? They're like, oh, well, we'll give him a couple.
Yeah, but a lot of people were talking about, Joe Burrow looked at, Jamar Chase, gave him a head nod, like, yeah, I'm okay. But is he really okay? A lot of people are concerned about that now. This is why we, both Polk and I are encouraged don't draft so early, just in case of these kind of injuries do happen. But, that's from a guy. A number, off the board as a number 2 quarterback, possibly number 3 quarterback. That's really concerning if it is going to be a, game time decision on the first week of, NFL. So take a look, listen to the podcast and listen to the news and see if Joe Burrow is going to be out for a little bit longer than that.
Right, and I think it speaks a little volume, guys. This just reiterates that you are so high. Don't get me wrong. I love Joe Burrow. I love what he's done as a quarterback in the league, but differential, right? So, if you planned on getting Joe Burrow, if he would be a little sign, that you can kind of wait just a little bit longer, share up some of those other. You can get maybe Joe Burrow drops a little bit further. Maybe you can get him still. Where you want, be able to that you need because you know, second, third, fourth. You know, I really hope you strike gold on those other positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, other news today: Jalen Ramsey, he had surgery today. Yeah, I know Polk doesn't want to hear it, but he is going to be out until December on his first year with the Miami Dolphins. That's actually really horrible. I would love to see him over there, to see that defense, him and Xavier Howard knocking it out. But that's not going to happen unless and really, Polk. I mean, unless the Miami Dolphins is deep in the playoffs, would you want Jalen Ramsey to play this year? I mean, at all, since you just signed him?
Well, yeah, Jalen Ramsey. We listen. Older, we have all the time in the world to wait, right? Like he's not 22, 23 years old. We brought him onto this team. And so, yeah, I think, you know, I'm not a huge fan of pushing it down, right? Next year. We've seen teams do that successfully. It never just kind of comes together. Cowboys, you know, I'm a huge Cowboys fan, but that's same thing, you know, and same with the Dolphins. You know, we made it playoffs last year, and we kind of pushed it to this year. Now, looking, you know, early in training camp, this position we're in, we really don't have the cornerback depth, I don't think, to be able to do what we need to do. You know, these guys got to really step up. But no, yeah, I want him in December. If he's supposed to be back in December, I want him in December. We need to make that playoff push. Hopefully he's ready to go, you know, and he built history, I guess, with the team. Hopefully. I'll let you know. You know, I'll be there next Saturday or whatever. And I'll have some conversations with him. Maybe we can figure something out, right?
Right. Absolutely. Hey, maybe we'll get Byron Jones to come back and out of retirement and maybe come play for you guys.
Maybe. All right. There's other guys. We'll
strike
up a trade or something.
All right. So other news, you know, 49ers, Brock Purdy, it was cleared to practice. He can go full pads, and he is ready to go. No limitations. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, Brock Purdy was the guy last year. From reports, though, Trey Lance has looked really good so far this week in training camp. So I think we might see some kind of a quarterback battle. The thing is, so Brock Purdy did great last year, but they have no draft. Team has no capital into him, right? A bunch of teams have tried to trade for Trey Lance. They see what they have, and it sounds like positive reports. So, you know, my question to you is, if they both do pretty well, who do they lean on? You know, who do they go to? Is it the draft capital? Right. Is it Trey Lance, or is it, you know, the kid that did really well against diversity?
Yeah, I agree. Mr. Relevant showed everybody
guess
that he could. Do I? No, I don't have a guess for us.
Have a guess?
Oh.
I do.
Oh, you do?
It's Trey Lance all day.
It's Trey Lance. I know.
There you go.
So yeah, you know, I think Brock Purdy is going to do well. I don't think should be your number one quarterback by no means. But you know, you want to pick him up or, you know, set him on the bench or if you got a 2 quarterback league or a super flex league, definitely I would, you know, I'd pick him up. Yeah, why not? Let's pick him up. Why not?
He didn't go out there and throw for like 500 yards a game or anything.
Well, I mean, he won games. He won games for him.
Yeah,
sure. you don't think? Okay, let me ask you this:
win games and give you 5 points.
Oh,
ask Jimmy Garoppolo how it goes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Very true. Okay, well, other news,
especially in that offense.
Yeah, for 100%. I agree with you on that. Other news on the other side of the 49ers, Nick Bosa not happy with his contract. And did you hear about what they said?
No, I didn't. I just, you know, all that contract talk, it's been crazy this season. I tend to knock it out, I guess, the best I can, you know, until they put their foot in the stand.
You know what? 49ers, pay the man. He got you 16 and a half tackles on 2021. He got you 18 and a half tackles last year. Pay the man what he wants. Go on. You got the money. Quit. Just go. Just go with it. Just pay it.
This Bosa that held that rookie contract. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah. This is yeah.
Hey, get your bag, I guess. Whatever, man.
Yeah, for sure. So Justin Herbert got signed, big contract. Polk. Let's talk about that a little bit. How do you feel about that big contract with 5-year, $200 and some million? That's a lot of money for a quarterback who's only played for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, so when you look at the landscape of the NFL, there's only a few guys that really show up and really produce, and every generation, right? You have those. You had Aaron Rodgers. You had he's not that, but Aaron Rodgers. Phillip Rivers was pretty good. Tom Brady. And then there's a bunch of others, right? And so this generation, it seems to be that that Herbert, that Patrick Mahomes, that Josh Allen, they found like the franchise guy. I don't have a problem with it. He's number one in pass yards, number one in completions or whatever, or number two, I think, in 2 years. He's done really well. He's got a great arm, makes some pretty good decisions. So I don't have a huge problem with it. They need to go and get him some talent around him, right? Like I don't think his receiving core, Keenan Allen, is old. Let's get him some young hot guys. Let's get him some of that free agent hotness, and maybe not this season, but next week. You're going to pay for the quarterback now. Get him the weapons, right?
Right. Yeah, and you're right. Keenan Allen is up in age. I believe he's going to be 31 this year, and Mike Williams
can't stay on the field.
He can't stay on the field. Palmer's in and out.
Yeah, he's just not that guy.
A lot of people saying that LA needs to tank their season this year and try to get
Don't ever say that.
Yeah, there's a lot of talks about that, but they're not going to tank their season. They got a group of talent over there. I think I like Justin Herbert. I think he could be a great quarterback. Last year was not a good year for him. He had that sophomore slump, had those nagging injuries. I thought his rookie year, man, he looked like he was been playing for 5+ years there, and he looked solid. But this year, it's going to determine, how he's going to be as a quarterback. He's got a new offensive coordinator over there with Kellen Moore.
Who likes to throw the ball,
That's right.
Look at
Dallas last year.
Yep, and the year before that, Dak had they throw the ball like a crazy 70. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was way more than definitely years past, and Kellen Moore used to be a quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. So, couple more news. Cowboys signed Trayvon Diggs to a multi deal. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm excited. Diggs is that guy, and he proved it. Definitely, can be a liability at times, but the interceptions I think make up for it. His son, Aiden, his son. They asked him what he was thankful for. Did you see that? And he said all the quarterbacks that threw his dad an interception. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
I love that kid.
Yeah,
that kid is awesome.
He's a character.
If you have not seen his videos, go look at it. He is a funny kid. He should be a comedian, really. I mean, for his age, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited the Cowboys got him locked down and everything. I did see a report where they interviewed Stephon Gilmore, and they said, "Hey, what do you think about Diggs?" He's like, "I'm excited playing, with him. I think he's a talented guy. They've worked on some stuff together, and I think with the veteran presence there with Stephon Gilmore, he's going to learn. He's going to be better. He's probably going to be eventually one of the best corners, shutdown corners at all time there. So."
Right.
I'm super excited about that. And then on the other side of the ball, their offense, no word on Zach Martin on the deal. Look, it's going to be signed eventually. He's going to get his restructure his contract. It's going to be fine. He's a 9-time Pro Bowler. He's a future Hall of Famer. They need him on the field. He's going to practice. It's not going to hurt him not being on the field right now in practice. He's been there forever. It'll be okay, Cowboy fans. It'll be okay. And then lastly, Saquon Barkley. Saquon got his contract there for 1 year, $10 million and $1 million worth of incentives there. Polk, you and I touched about this week, and you mentioned that he was very sincere, like he really wanted to play. He didn't want to really actually sit out for the year. Go a little bit in depth in that, and how does that make you feel going into the fantasy football season? How if you had a chance to draft him, would you draft him?
Absolutely. Barkley was to lead the league last year, and they kind of backed off of that. But the guy can do it all. Not as well as we talked about as Christian McCaffrey. His hands aren't that good. He had some drops, but man, he's just a physical specimen. And like what you were talking about, that sincerity, right? When he had that interview, you could tell that he was sincere about holding out. He said he had to talk. You could tell that it really bothered him. So I'm excited that they were able to get a deal done. It's near $11 million deal, so not much different from that. From
got $10 million,
yeah. But I'm excited. I think the Giants would have been in a real bad position, had they not signed Barkley and he chose to sit out. But everybody was able to get a deal done. It's exciting. Hopefully he makes it all the way to the week that we're going to go see. We'll get to see Barkley run.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm glad they were able to figure it out. And guys, to me, Barkley's top 3 back in the NFL.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I know everybody has Bijan Robinson up there as a top 3 back
Barkley's
right now.
done it,
I agree with you. 100%. But it's nice to see that a player that is like, look, man, I really don't want to sit out, man. I really want to play football. I love football. Just help me out. I've helped you out. I got you this, to this organization. I am very happy that to see that. On the opposite side, Josh Jacobs walks out and left Las Vegas, left his teammates. I understand the frustration with the running backs and everything not getting paid the way they should be getting paid. But when you can go to your workouts and say, hey, you know what? I'm here right now. Let's get a deal done. Let's get something going. I want to play football for you. How's that make you look at a football player when you're drafting them? And you're not sure, man, it's Josh Jacobs is up there, and he's the next person on your draft that's available. Would you pass him and go look at somebody else?
Uncertainty is always hard, right? Like if you don't know, it's like saying, should you draft a guy knowing he's going to get injured that year? Cordell Patterson. My bad. But no. So, more times, but I'm not going to. But so, man, he was talking about last year. I think he could be, top 8. So it depends. It depends on where. If I'm taking, I'm a little scared. Especially early in that first round. A lot of other backs. There's some good receivers that I'd rather have. So if maybe I'm taking him as my second player overall, then I'm okay with it. Somewhat okay with it, right?
Right.
Let's say that I snag Barkley, I snag McCaffrey, I snag Justin Jefferson, one of those guys. I'm okay with kind of pairing him up with one of those guys. But as a top back, as just the guy with especially contract situation right now, because we haven't heard much, right? No one's heard much from Josh. He's concerned. He's displeased. I think he said a couple of things, that they should get paid or whatever on Twitter, but that's it. Barkley did interviews. Barkley had these heart-to-hearts and had these discussions. So you kind of knew, where he stood. With Josh Jacobs, you just don't. And I know that he don't care about fantasy football, so
yeah, I agree. And last, Dalvin Cook rumors this weekend he's going to go to the Jets and Patriots to talk to him. I have a feeling that he's going to be with the Jets, just the way things are going. The way Aaron Rodgers took a pay cut, it sure does look like they're trying to get Dalvin Cook over there.
Yeah. Also, did you see that Breece Hall hit 23 miles an hour in practice the other day?
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah. No, he said that it's going to be a high possibility that he goes to the Jets. Everybody knows that he's probably going to go to the Jets, right? Unless the Patriots, which they don't pay players, is going to offer him just something crazy when they see him at workouts. But
yeah,
happen. So it'll be exciting. I'm going to get to see him play the Cowboys. Week 2. But what that does is that diminishes Breece Hall's fantasy value, right? And I really think that Breece Hall is going to be the one, and Dalvin Cook's kind of going to help it out, kind of like a Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt situation.
Yeah.
But it just takes away the value. Breece Hall, I had pretty high on my rankings, and this is definitely going to drop him, 2 rounds at least, because you don't want both, right? And you can't, because you'll never be able to make that decision of when and who to start, who's going to get the touchdowns this game. Breece would almost have to break one, and then Cook's going to lurk him on the in the 5, in that red zone. It's just going to be difficult. So those are guys that I'd really avoid. I mean, unless you just get them for ultra cheap, right? Like, that's the thing, is you got to decide in these fantasy drafts and stuff where you want to take your risks, and that's not one I'm willing to take.
I agree. Well, that brings us to our segment today. Running backs and their handcuffs. Polk, we got a list here that we're going to go over with our fans over here, and start it off, buddy. What are you looking at here?
Well, let's start with the easy one, okay? We got Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard. Okay. I don't. Miles Sanders, they're wanting him to be a 3-down back. Miles Sanders has never been a 3-down. He's always in the backfield with guys. I think that, and he's had injuries, right? Every year he hadn't played a full season. I think Chuba Hubbard is a guy that you keep an eye on. I don't think that you necessarily draft him unless you're really hurting or you're shored up really good, right? You got 2 of the best backs, and you're able to set Chuba Hubbard. Then maybe you keep that Miles Sanders guy from getting him. But I think he's going to be a very good guy to be able to keep an eye on, especially later in the year. He's not going to be great. If something happens to Miles Sanders, he's going to be a pretty good starter. And then Miles Sanders 3-down back, just the size, right?
Right.
He couldn't do it in Philly, and they obviously didn't like something about it. So,
yeah, exactly. I'm going to go to the Denver Broncos. Their lead back, of course, is Javonte Williams, but they signed Samar Piron from Cincinnati. I think that's going to be a great handcuff with them. Piron did great when Mixon was hurt. He always took advantage of his time when he was a starting running back. When Mixon was hurt, even when he went on downs, he's always got that extra push to get that first down. He was never that, I got to have Piron this week in my lineup. But if it's a guy that you're on a bye week or you got some injuries, I would pick him up. I would pick him up over there for. What do you think?
Piron?
Yeah.
Samaje? Yes. Love Samaje. He did really good. You know, I think if Joe Mixon went the starter, if it was anybody else over there, they'd have a real hard time setting P. Ryan on the bench last year. When he came in, he had some fantastic runs. He seems to be pretty reliable, you know. So, yeah, no, I really like great. That might be a guy that towards the last 2 rounds, that might be a guy I grab and stash because of the history and Williams. You know, if he's going to be ready to go, right? Like he's wearing a brace. They said he's looks good, but man, you know, last year was supposed to be his year, and look what happened when they tried to give him the full load. So, I like that pick. I like a lot.
Okay, all right, awesome. Who's your next pick there?
Well, I like to go down to Jacksonville, talk about old Tank. Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne, you know, they gave him the job last year. And Travis Etienne, third down back to me. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. Yes, he's electric, he's a good player. I think that I think that Tank, you know, might steal some carries and it's just gonna look better, right? You want Etienne on those. Whereas Tank, you could sit there and run him up the gut the first and second, you know. And I think that you know, the kid was pretty good in college. Etienne, it's just going to help him. You know, he had some nagging things last year, and again, he you know, obviously James. James, you know what I'm talking about, James. Robinson.
Yes,
right?
James Robinson. Yes, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, obviously him and the coaching staff didn't get along for whatever reason, so he didn't make it. But I think Tank, you know, I think it's going to be a 1-2 punch. It definitely can be a 1-2 punch down there in Jacksonville. I think he's a guy that you definitely keep an eye on, especially if Etienne or if he starts, you know, and keep a close eye at the first 2 weeks of the season. If he starts getting some, you know, if he starts getting more than what's expected, right? You start seeing, you know, if you start seeing somewhere close to a 60-40, you know, you want to grab that guy because that's a lot of confidence in a rookie. So these are guys, again, you know, you're not going out and running and drafting most of these guys, right? Unless you get their starter. Right. But these are guys that you want to definitely keep an eye on as the season progresses.
I agree 100%. So my next pick is going to be I'm going to talk about Zamir White. Just because the Josh Jacobs situation, he's my boy. I don't care. I will talk it again. I don't care. Zamir White's probably the most underrated backup running back right now. I don't care.
I don't think as a starter in the NFL, but
well, he will because of Josh Jacobs probably won't sign or whatever. But look, seriously, guys. If it gets getting closer to your draft, okay, the third, fourth week, you know, the week before the NFL starts and your draft, Josh Jacobs hasn't signed. Look at Zamir White. If you look at his Georgia stats, he was phenomenal. He was probably one of the best running backs, I believe, ever at Georgia. Check him out. He's got incredible speed. Again, I will say, Raiders, if you don't use them this year, you don't utilize them as a third down back. If Jacobs is back, cut him loose so you can go to another team that he's going to be worth looking at. Okay, Polk, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't seen enough out of White, right? And apparently the Raiders hadn't seen enough that they like. I don't know, but you know, I hope that's the case, right? So I had one. Sorry, work. So, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think the most underrated backup is going to be AJ Dillon. I think AJ Dillon is the most underrated backup. You know, I take that job. He's a guy. Aaron Jones is good, right? He's good out of the backfield. He's good, but you know, they've already moved on from their quarterback. So I think that it's time to pound that rock, especially under Love. And Aaron Jones, I'm sorry, ain't going to be able to pound it like A.J. Dillon, right? No one wants that big body running at him, you know, 25 times a game. So I think he has an opportunity to really shine and really split those carries this year. I know we said that last year with the contract and stuff. It just didn't work out that way. But no, yeah, he's a guy that I'm excited to see, and I think he if you take a chance on him in the later rounds, I think it could pay off, right?
Well, I'm really surprised you skipped over your team over there. I'm going to talk about Devon Atchie for the Miami Dolphins. Polk is not too thrilled with him, as you can see his expression. He's fast. He's got a 4.32. That's lightning speed. He was the number one running back for the Aggies.
I just worry. We've got a lot of running backs.
But he's considered the number 2 running back right now. But who else you got? Moster's not there.
Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson's the number 1 running back over there. Who else is going to take his spot over there?
Right, but he's got to play it down in the NFL, right? He's small, so that's what scares me, right? He's fast. Could be a third down back, and we've seen him be successful. But do you spend a draft capital on him? But definitely a guy to keep in mind. I don't know. Right? I don't think that he could be that guy. So maybe this year in redraft leagues, he might be a guy to keep an eye on or whatever. In Dynasty, I don't know that. I don't know, man. I got to see him play. I hadn't seen him play yet.
You'll get to see him practice, so you can let us know.
A&M running backs just don't tend to make it in the NFL, right?
Yeah, 100%. You're right about that. Who else do you got there, Polk?
Hold on a second. I'm trying to see.
Oh.
I'm taking a look. We got Gaskin, huh?
Yeah, buddy.
We still got Myles Gaskin. Yeah, terrible. No, I did that because I'm really not. I was really hoping that we were able to go get Dalvin Cook, and he turned down the contract, and so I don't know. Anyway, we'll get back to it, right?
Sure.
So I think that's going to be the backup over there to everybody's guy, Bijan. I think Bijan's going to be great. I think Bijan's going to be a special player. It's his rookie year. I think that Tyler Algier is still going to get some carries, and then we got to see him. We got to see him make it right. And if something unfortunate, I don't want that to happen. If something happens to Bijan, and that's kind of why we're talking about this list. If something happens to these guys, Tyler Algier is going to be the first man up. He's going to get the opportunity. 100%. He had the opportunity last year at the end of the season, and so he would be the guy. I think go with him, right? And that's gross because no one likes 40-year-old running backs, but converted receivers, 14 teams down, they finally do something. But anyway, enough about Tyler Algier though. I like him. I
do too.
He's not the fastest guy, but he's a guy that you can sit there and hand the rock and he can pound you 4 yards, because consecutively, and you get. Well,
he's going to be that third down back. He's going to be that guy that I know Bijan can do it all. I know that, but he is going to be that third down back. They're going to use him for screens. They're going to use him for slants. He's going to be that guy, and I like that backup situation over there because what else do they have for weapons other than Drake London and drew a blank over there. Kyle Pitts over there. Yep. So that just gives them another option to go out there and throw the ball. So.
Right, agreed. It's and like you said, there's not a lot of bright things on that offense, and Bijan can be that. But at the same time, there's not a lot of bright things, so they can stack the box, and unfortunately, a little too many times.
Right.
So, we'll see. He's a guy to keep an eye on. But yeah, right.
I agree.
So
Next one for me is going to be Phillies DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. Not a bad combo. Not a bad combo. Not a bad combo. I think DeAndre's. Go ahead.
Rashad Penny got the first rep.
Yes, that is correct. He did get the first rep. He does look good. Here's the deal with Rashad Penny. I think he's an outstanding running back. The guy just gets hurt.
That's it.
Constantly gets hurt. And they brought him in there. They signed Swift and then they brought Penny in to back him up because both of them get hurt. They're both injury prone. Okay, a lot of people think DeAndre Swift is still on round 2. You better go get DeAndre Swift because he's with the Eagles now. No, shut up. Last year, I told you guys he's not going to be a top 3 running back. He's not going to be a top 5 running back. Injuries was going to kill him. This is going to be the exact same thing.
Don't tell him.
Exact same. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry. I'm just talking about the critics. Yeah. Telling the critics to shut up.
I got you. No, agreed. I mean, they still got Clement. They still got a lot of guys.
Yeah, Boston Scott. They got all those guys there. It's a running back community over there. It's always have been. It's been like that. They're like the New England Patriots.
They're quarterbacks, right? I mean,
right, exactly. So, I like the situation that Penny is there because he's not going to be that. If something happens to Swift, Penny's going to be in there. He's going to be your guy for 2 or 3 weeks, and something's going to happen to him. But I do like the combination because on off weeks, when on bye weeks and everything, he's great there for a flex. He's there. He's great for your bench. He's great there for. Go ahead.
I get what you're saying, and so the good thing is Penny's not going to have to carry the load, right? Swift isn't going to have to carry the load. Clement's not.
Right.
There's going to be a rotation of these guys. Unfortunately, that's just never good for fantasy. The more rotation, it's just hard to guess, right? Like who gets the touchdowns this week? And I know that's been an issue with Scott and Clement and Miles Sanders, right? In the years past. So it's not going to change. And they just added two decently capable, barring injury running backs to their roster. So it just convolutes the things a little bit more.
I wouldn't get mad if, I've already established.
But if one goes down, right?
Right. I already established my running backs, and I have Penny on my flex or Penny on my bench. I wouldn't be mad 100% on that. I think that'd be a great setting. So, who do you got there on your next one, buddy?
All right. So I thought it's going to be Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams. Kamara, we've talked about, getting a little bit older, not very good. And Jamal Williams has been phenomenal between the tackles. I kind of see that leaning towards a 1-2 punch. It's worked well in the past with the Saints. They had Ricky Williams, and they've had a couple guys that they like to want. Reggie Bush. I think that solution and that Jamal Williams might not be a terrible option as he likes to lurk those touchdowns. So.
Agreed. He was the leading rushing touchdown last year. He was killing it for
He runs hard.
Yeah, he does.
He runs real hard.
Full speed ahead there with that man. So I'm gonna.
I got 2 more I want to talk about.
Okay. One I want to talk about is Tampa Bay with Rashard White and Keyshawn Vaughn. What do you think with Keyshawn Vaughn, man? Do you think he's been undershadowed because Fournette was there for so long? I like Keyshawn Vaughn. I don't think they gave him a chance over there. I'm sorry, did I say Keyshawn? Yeah, Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. What is it? It's his third. And I agree. Right. Fournette took that role and had that role up until his departure. Now White started eating into that. I guess we're gonna see here if White can really carry the load. Keyshawn Vaughn has the stature, has everything that I think, and he has the speed too to be able to do it. That the team spent draft capital. It's kind of a do or die year for him, right? Like he's got to show that
Actually, it's a do or die for both of them. To be honest with you, they've both been in the league together for about 3 years. So we'll see. We'll see. They're definitely going to need some help over there with Baker Mayfield throwing the ball.
These guys on they're the last. Yeah, no kidding. On their last year of these rookie contracts, things like that. It's make or break, right? So they're going to run the heck out of them. Like we've talked about in the past. If you're losing the car, you're going to sit there and go at it, right? Give him all the carries in the world because if he gets hurt, he's not a part of the team. If he goes out there and performs, then you pay him a little bit of money. So,
right.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it too. What you got, man? Who's next for you?
All right, Elijah Mitchell.
I was going to say that for you because your boy CMC's on that team. So, talk to me a little bit about Elijah Mitchell. We all know he's injury prone, but it's a hell of a running back when he's healthy.
Yeah, did great. Definitely had injuries last year. Didn't get started, but a very capable back. Right? He's Christian McCaffrey's backup. I'm not going to say it, but you all know what I'm thinking, and I'm just going to say that if you draft Christian McCaffrey, you make sure that you get Elijah Mitchell. Get your insurance policy. You don't go buy that huge big screen TV without some kind of insurance, right?
Right.
Buy the brand new car without insurance. You don't draft Christian without some kind of insurance. But get McCaffrey. You really want to kind of shake things up. Set your team right, but if he waits 1 or 2 rounds too long, go get Elijah Mitchell. I bet some kind of trade. Especially, you see him picking a wide receiver that you like. Elijah Mitchell. It's later in the draft, right? So you're not going to get Justin Jefferson for Elijah Mitchell. But, Christian Kirk, I don't know. So go get it. Go get it. And, if you draft Christian McCaffrey, go get Elijah Mitchell. That's what I'm saying. I think that's the take right there. Get Elijah Mitchell, if you can. Pay, but look at his ADP.
I agree with you, man. Elijah.
Look at him going in the 10th round.
Right. I mean, that's not going to hurt you anything. Yeah. You'll be safe with him. You got any more running backs you're looking at? I'm actually done on my side. You got one more?
Yeah, there was one more I wanted to talk about. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet.
Okay.
Charbonnet.
Let's talk about that.
Is a pretty solid running back. Can kind of do it all. Kind of did it all last year. You can look at his college tape. The kid's pretty solid. And Kenneth Walker, again, a solid back. Has had some injury concerns. I think he missed a couple weeks last year with injury. Yep. I think that in opportunities like that, especially with Zach Charbonnet being a well-rounded player, you can get a 3-down back out of it. And Kenneth Walker is fast, but not the biggest guy, right? There's always a potential, especially because he was kind of just did the job on injury last year, right?
Right, 100%.
So there's potential to have that guy and then just fill in that role, and you never look back if he's good. I think he has the potential to be. We'll see. We'll see. How the carries go, but he's definitely a guy that I would think about getting later in that draft, just in case. You always have a couple rounds where you can get some of these and kind of just hang on and give. I've done that almost every year, and 90% of the time I've been right. 90% of the time they've been, but I end up bailing on them about halfway through the season. and then the next week they come in and I drop in free agency to go grab just someone else, right? So if you do capital, I'm not saying hold forever, but give them opportunity, especially on these rookies, guys like this. They got to get used to the system. They got to get used to the speed of the NFL, and that's going to take a few weeks. But if you're looking at some of these rookie running backs, give them a little bit of time. Unless they're just freaks like Bijan or something. But give them a little bit of time, and they could very easily be league winners. Some of the best, running backs have came out. Alvin Kamara, the first year that he showed up, he got picked up off the free agency. Other guys like that throughout these seasons that just show up that no one expected them to. And they're able to take over, right? So,
right.
David Johnson,
That's a good perfect example of that one there from Polk. All right, guys. I think that pretty much wraps it up for us. Like I said in the beginning of our podcast, before I say this special announcement here, we are unfortunately going to be out for the next 2 weeks. Polk is going to be on vacation, but he is going to take his laptop just in case, if he meets his buddy Waddle over there. And, maybe we'll do a quick interview for us. But other than that, he's going to be on vacation. So we should be back around possibly, I believe, August.
Right around prime draft season.
Right. We should be back
right
around the
15th.
Yep. So we should be back around the 16th or 17th. Our draft is on the 19th. Looking forward to that coming up here. So we should be back. In our special announcement as well, we have a new sponsor for Punt Situation there. It is Happy Dad. If you haven't had a Happy Dad seltzer, I advise you to go try it out. Check out their website. We're also going to have Tyler with Happy Dad on our show here the next couple of weeks, talking about Happy Dad and his product over there with that. It is the number one seltzer right now selling in the United States, especially in California and Texas. Sure.
Yeah, I got something, man. So you talked about this Happy Dad, and I'm not a huge fan of seltzers, but it's been hot, right? It's been hot in Texas, and so normally when I'm out there mowing my yard, I like to have a good beer. You've been talking Happy Dad up, and last weekend I was out there mowing my yard, and it was pretty hot, and so I had me a Happy Dad, and not to mention it was phenomenal, right? So it's not your normal seltzer; it actually has flavor, but the great thing, it has electrolytes. And, it just didn't wear me down. It didn't drain me like a lot of those other beers. So, I had me a couple. I was able to get hydrated and have a good time doing it. So, I was really impressed.
Yeah. So Happy Dad has some awesome flavors. They got fruit punch, Death Row grape from Snoop Dogg. They got lemon lime, wild cherry, pineapple. And they also, for the moms, they have Happy Mom raspberry. So check it out. Check it out when you can. Pick you up a 12-pack and let us know what you think about it. And possibly we may have, maybe some little giveaways and stuff for Happy Dad. We'll talk to Tyler and we'll see what we can do. But guys, that concludes our show for the evening. Polk, you got the last word, sir.
All right, guys. It's been another great episode of Punt Situation with Polk and Scott. Remember, if you're going to drink responsibly, and you're going to drink something good, Happy Dad's the way to go. Other than that, guys, if you enjoyed our show, like and share, follow, check us out on YouTube. We finally got that back up and running. So if you want to see our beautiful faces, we're here. So we're going to be out for the next couple of weeks, but don't fret. We will try to put information out there, especially news and stuff if it's pertinent. We'll try to get that to you as soon as possible, especially for some of our reliable listeners. But we're going to be back right in the meat of the draft season, so check us out. I think receivers and quarterbacks the next time we're on here. Maybe some deep teasing. We'll get it to you after that. The thing we're going to try to do this season, instead of these hour-long episodes, we're going to try to offer some 15-minute episodes throughout your week, so that if you need it, you need that information right now, and you don't have long, you're on a quick break, you only got 15 minutes, you can pop us in, check us out, listen to us, get the information that you need, and then check out our hour-long episode at home or whatever. So just some cool things that we're looking forward to doing this season. We're glad to be back. I'm glad to have Scott back. We're glad to do what we can to help y'all win y'all's leagues. So that's all I got for you.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great week, and we'll talk to you. If you need anything, any advice, you can go to Facebook, look me up, Punt Situation, text me on there. You can go to Facebook, talk to look up for Kalen Polk, and we'll both help you out. You guys have a great evening, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.